What's up, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and none of the above? This is DL. I'm bringing you some Draft Premier League content. I've been drafted in the DPL. I went for 7.5k to the team Crusaders. Got nominated by Trick of Eye, and Hypertoe bid on me as well. Yeah, I didn't go for 5k, so that's pretty cool. And I, a random, got drafted. And I'm playing in the second week here against metalfrider from Zero Fox Given. He's like good or something, I guess, or I must be trash. So, yeah, I was the biggest underdog in pick'ems this week. Like 58 votes for him, 8 for me. 6 of those are my team. 1 is some guy named GCS that I've seen around. I think he likes Volcanion or something. And then Loki P, the Scyther God. Shout out to Loki P. So yeah, my team. Let's go over his team. Yeah, so he's got Z-Move Coco, Mega Glade, Slowbro, Z, Roserade, Metagross, Mandibuzz, Stunfisk, and Throw. And my team is Torrent, Z Captain Greninja, Rotomo, Z Lando T, Palisand, Scavalier, Mega Glade, and then Toxapex and regular Diancie were the mons I left on my bench. Yeah, Pex just kind of got smashed in this matchup. He has 3 Psychic types, 2 Electric types, and then Roserade, like, while Pex does come in on it pretty comfortably, it doesn't really do anything to it, and Roserade just gets free spikes.
Yeah, we gonna hit it.
So yeah, let's go over my team real quick.
No worries, my nigga. No worries.
So my first mon, I have a Specs Greninja, Machina the Greninja, the Torrent ability, of course. He has 3 Psychic types, so Dark Pulse is really good. It smacks everything with the exception of Mandibuzz. Of course, Coco resists the move, though Coco doesn't really come in too comfortably. Greninja should definitely force Mandibuzz to be pretty spadef. He could also potentially be like a specially defensive Roserade in this matchup. Doesn't really need offensive investment in this matchup. Ice Beam was a great move to hit Mandibuzz, which is his primary dark resist, and also hit Roserade harder. Hydro Pump is a strong stab move, which was pretty splashable. It hit a lot of things on his team quite hard. Hit Mandibuzz decently and Coco. Yeah, my main move to hit Coco. And then Water Shuriken, usually pretty weak, but in combination with the Choice Specs item and potentially the Torrent ability, if that comes into play, it can actually be very strong, and it's a very nice option as speed control. Try to deal with the Tapu Koko, which naturally outspeeds everything on my team. Yeah, Greninja, really nice speed tier here. It outspeeds everything naturally bar the Koko. So yeah, good revenge killer for things like Mega Glade and Roserade as well. And a pretty strong breaker here if I can get rocks up or like make the right read on the Mandibuzz coming in. Then Greninja should be able to just poke holes and even potentially clean in this matchup. My next mon is Kohanks the Rotomo. He's got Volt Switch, really good momentum. His ground type is Stunfisk, which doesn't have the best matchup here. I mean, he could bring it, but it's not great. And then Leaf Storm, of course, smacks that. It's a really good move for hitting Tapu Koko as well. It's Slowbro a lot harder. Stronger move for like Mega Glade as well. It's my Defogger. It's not a great Defogger in this matchup because his Spiker and T-Spiker is Roserade, which obviously this thing doesn't really do anything to, and Roserade threatens it pretty heavily with the Poison move. But it can defog, and it defogs more decently, Metagross. And then my teammates suggested Toxic on this, but I went for Pain Split because I thought the longevity was really nice for helping deal with Tapu Koko, and I could Pain Split pretty comfortably on mons like Slowbro and Mandibuzz. I definitely thought the top 6 would come, though Stunfisk I thought was an option, maybe over Metagross for a Stealth Rocker. Yeah. My next mon, we've got Cloud City, the Choice Scarflanders T. Definitely considered SD Z move here. Really good for breaking his team. Like if you look at like +2 Groundium or like Z Fly, just sort of smashes holes in his team, taking out mons like Mandibuzz or Slowbro. A Dual Dance set was pretty good here, but I decided that I didn't really need the extra matchup against his bulk. I felt pretty comfortable in my ability to break his team with the help of Greninja as well as some of the mons you'll see a little later in this team build. So I decided to go with the Choice Scarf Landers T, which I thought was very valuable for the speed control it provided in helping check Tapu Koko and Mega Gallade, which were pretty massive threats to my team, as you can see. Like, my Psychic type is Mega Gallade, like T-Bolt, HP Ice, Grass Knot, Koko just kind of tears me apart, and even pivot around with U-turn. And yeah, and then my Landers' own U-turn, which the Scarf set very easily fits, is very nice for bringing in some of my breakers like the Greninja or these two. And then Explosion, it's just sort of a fourth move, sort of filler-esque move, but it'd be very nice, especially if my Lando's low, to sort of go 1-for-1 with and trade Lando for one of his Pokemon, such as like the Koko, the Mega Gallade, potentially like Slowbro or Mandibuzz, and open up a door for another one of my mons, because you'll find a lot of my mons really have the ability to just be win cons. Like I have a lot of different potential win cons here if the right mon gets removed. So Explosion Scarflanders T is pretty nice for that. And yeah. The Adamant nature also is very nice here. I don't see Scarf Rosary coming here, so this just outspeeds max speed Koko. Like, even if he's potentially like a Shukaberry Koko, this will do like 79-80% minimum, I think, if he's uninvested. So yeah, the Landers T is really strong, it would appear. It's my first time using this mon. Should be pretty interesting. My next mon's Palisand. I was originally Yachiberry, but my teammates talked me into Rindo. So they thought like Leaf Blade Mega Gallade was an option. I thought Grass Knot Koko was pretty likely. And this could also potentially have a hit from Roserade with the help of the Rindo Berry. Yeah, he has triple Psychic, which is part of why Gran is so good with spamming Dark Pulse. But Shadow Ball, of course, is also very strong in this matchup. His only resist to it is the Mandibuzz, which we are carrying the Toxic for. Then we have a Shore Up for recovery, and then, of course, Rocks are needed in competitive Pokemon. Really great for the extra damage on Mandibuzz, since it is weak to rocks, as well as like getting some nice chip over time on that very speedy little chicken boy. Good at chipping down Roserade, which sort of comes in for free on my Rotom-Mow. Pretty good at helping somewhat negate the Regenerator ability on Slowbro, wearing that down, which could be very helpful for my Landers T, as well as my Mega Gallade. My next mon is Count Riario. Shoutouts to Count. Choice Banded Escavalier with the Swarm ability. Enough speed for Slowbro and Stunfisk. This thing breaks his team. This comes in and claims one. His bug resists suck. It's Tapu Koko and Throw. Like, Koko is taking like 69 min from Banded Megahorn if he's uninvested. If I'm in Swarm range, it's an Oko. So that would be pretty nice to see Koko get Oko by bug move. And of course, this thing, if he brings Slowbro in on Landers T's, U-turn, for example, then Escavalier, of course, threatens Oko Slowbro. So it just comes in and claims kill. So it's and Slowbro is very important to him in this matchup, as it's his best way of dealing with the Landers T. In a consistent fashion, like Mandibuzz can be worn down a lot more easily than Slowbro can. So Escavalier is extremely valuable breaker here. And with him sort of needing the Slowbro, I think it's gonna do a lot more than go 1-for-1 in this matchup, based on this build. I think it should be able to just smash holes in this team. And yeah, the rest of the moves. So yeah, Megahorn is kind of the only move I need, but Pursuit's nice. Yeah, if I'm forcing out the Slowbro, and if it's in like Pursuit range, that can open up a lot of doors for like my Landorus, as well as my Mega Gallade. Yeah, I could potentially Pursuit Koko or you know, if that's really weakened, or if I need just a little bit more chip on it, or maybe like a rosary that's choice locked into something other than HP fire. Ironhead's just another nice stab move, which covers a lot of the options that you want to go into, like Mandibuzz. Oko's Coco, I believe. Strong move for Roserade. Of course, it hits Throw, his other bug resist, a lot harder as well. And then X Scissor is just nice for a more consistent bug stab, which is made even better by the potential of the Swarm ability, so that this could still be a pretty strong move if I'm in Swarm. And my last mon is Mega Glade, named after my boy Draw 15, another one of my Crusaders teammates, alongside Count. But I didn't think that this had the greatest matchup here. So yeah, it is a 6th mon, but this is a set that could definitely do work. We are speed tying his Mega Glade, yeah, just basic EVs. Got the Sword Stance, Zen Headbutt's my primary stab move. And then Thunder Punch was really nice in this matchup. +2 Thunder Punch in the terrain, which is Coco sets ever so nicely for my Mega Glade. Actually, Oko's Fizz Def Slowbro. That's also a great move for hitting the Mandibuzz, which is his other good psychic/fighting check. And then my last move on Mega Glade is actually the Shadow Sneak. This is a nice priority ghost type move. So I am without any fighting stab, which means I can't hit the Metagross particularly hard. I think like +2 Shadow Sneak does somewhere around half, usually. But the priority is really nice for dealing with the opposing Mega Glade, not having to risk a speed tie. That's some nice extra priority for dealing with Scarfers. Getting some clean damage on that speedy Electric Chicken Boy Tapu Koko. See, I felt pretty good about this matchup. I'm a nobody, so I didn't know like if this guy was. I thought this guy was gonna be like really disrespectful in the way he played the game, like acting like I was like a nub or something. I didn't want to overpredict and him make some super whack play, expecting me to like, try to show out or something, like show that I'm actually a Mons player. So like that was sort of my mentality going in. I was like, y'all, I'll get my Escavalier in, and like my Greninja can do great. Like, just Escav should be able to poke some really good holes here. We'll take it from there. I knew I had to, really play towards the offensive side because I don't really switch in well to Coco, Mega Glade, or Roserade in particular. So yeah, the momentum that these two should be able to grab me, as well as the breaking power of the Escavalier, the Greninja, and the SD Mega Glade. It's like exactly what I need in this matchup, I think. So yeah, let's take a look at the replay. And so you're gonna see, yeah, easy clap. Yeah, these guys in DPL talk a lot of smack. A lot of smack. Like, I don't know, a lot of these guys are really toxic. I'm not gonna lie. But this guy was pretty alright. And like scheduling, he seems cool enough. So yeah, you're gonna see he brought his top 6 sort of as expected. At the lead, I thought, Scarf Landers T lead's kind of obvious, but I also thought like Coco was a pretty good lead for him, as well as like Mega Glade. Like I thought the potential for a the lead it and kill with it, Kieran Black style of lead was pretty likely here. And Landers T didn't put me in a bad position against any of his mons really. Whereas if I led with something like Rotom-Mow or like even Greninja against Coco, I could be in a very bad spot very quickly. So I decided to lead off with my Landers T, as he leads off with his Metagross. This screams that this is Shookaberry, so I'm not going to stay in here. I'm going to U-turn out. Even if he is Choice Scarf, I will outspeed him. So I'm going to U-turn out and predict him to either go for the Stealth Rocks or the Ice Punch. This damage indicates that he could be max HP. Metagross doesn't really need speed in this matchup. So yeah, I'm going to go into my Escavalier, which should be able to comfortably take an Ice Punch or Zen Headbutt, or really punish him for going for rocks. So yeah, make the Scavalier play. As he does go for Ice Punch, I'm like, oh great, I'll eat that up. 13%. Yeah, Scavalier's pretty thick. And this reveals that he is probably Adamant max attack as well. So yeah, probably max HP, max attack Adamant, which made sense because my team didn't really have a lot of middling speed tiers. Like, he didn't need to really desire speed on Metagross in this matchup. And he doesn't really need the bulk either. Like, this is mainly just like, yeah, classic offensive rocker. So he goes for the Ice Punch. And I get frozen turn 1. And this sucks because if I'm not frozen, he either... This is in Banded Mega Horn range as well, I believe. Yeah, if he, say, like, goes for rocks its next turn as I click Mega Horn, Metagross is either dead or like at 2% or whatever. And if he doesn't, like, he doesn't have a safe switch into this. Like, his options are either give me a Pokemon, which is what happens if he goes into Roserade, Slowbro, or Mega Gallade. And like, even Mandibuzz I can click Mega Horn on, and then like 2 will kill it, since it should be Spadef. And if he roosts, he actually loses his flying typing, making him pure dark, making him actually weak to the Mega Horn. So like, it will force a kill on Mandibuzz as well. And I'm perfectly happy. I'm sort of trading health on my Escavalier for the Mandibuzz, because that means that my Greninja goes absolutely wild with Specs Dark Pulse. And yeah, he could also go Coco and give me like, you know, like 80% on that, which would be wonderful as well. So those were all great scenarios. And yeah, and if he made like the switch into Coco or Mandibuzz, then he doesn't get rocks up either. But instead, what happens is I stay frozen, and you see that's his strongest move to hit me, and he gets the 2-hit roll. Yeah, and he kills me, and he gets his rocks up. So essentially, what should have been a really good scenario for me has turned into, I'm basically playing this game 5v6, and he has stealth rocks up already. So this is awful. Like, I am so enormously in the back right now. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, and Mayo or whatever is like saying, no, if you restart, that's against the rules, bro. I'm just gonna like forfeit my games. I guess he's metalfrider's teammate or something. I don't know. Some of these people in chat are really obnoxious. Like, this is what this guy says when I get frozen. Like, shut up. Wheelchair. Anyways, so we're gonna send out our Greninja here, which of course threatens out the Metagross with the potential Dark Pulse. Mandibuzz is like his most obvious play here, but on the other hand, like, his Metagross isn't very important to him in this matchup. Like, it's not a necessary mon, so he's pretty free to play it rather recklessly. So I go for the Hydro Pump, which covers him staying in with Metagross, as well as doing pretty decent damage to Mandibuzz. Like, if he's not Spadef, then I should even be able to 2-hit KO him. So yeah, it forces out the Metagross still. It covers him staying in and stuff, while still being a pretty decent play if he makes the Mandibuzz play, giving me a lot of information. So he does opt to go with the Mandibuzz play. We do Specs Hydro Pump. If he is max Spadef, then this is actually like a really high roll, but this does indicate that he is very specially defensive. And he shows the leftovers as well. So we've gained a lot of information out of this turn. And he should roost here, because if he doesn't, then like, I could potentially fish for like Hydro Pump crit or something here. If he went for like foul play on that, like, he'd throw the game. So I'm gonna make the Rotom play as he roosts, and potentially force him out with the electric move. Now here, like, he could predict me to Defog, which is like the most obvious play on my part here, and go into Roserade. So I'm going to predict that and pivot out with my Volt Switch. And this does tell me that this is not a bulky Roserade at all. This is pretty offensive Roserade. So that's some good information to have as well. Yeah, my team doesn't really deal with Roserade particularly well. Greninja, of course, threatens it out potentially, but only with Ice Beam. Like, this thing lives Specs Dark Pulse. But I'm actually going to, yeah, I have Mega Glade. Yeah. Yeah, I deal with it right now with Mega Glade. Yeah, this is my best mon to force this thing out, as it's not in range of my Greninja or my Landorus T at this point in time. And he should fear the Zen Headbutt. And his obvious play, I could also potentially SD here, since I should live most hits from the Roserade. Bar like a Z move, I think I might not live. I could still live that. Like, Mega Glade has really good defenses. And if I like SD and he goes like Mandibuzz, I predict his Zen Headbutt, he's in a really bad spot. So his most obvious play is Slowbro, and since the electric terrain is not up, +2 Thunder Punch would not be able to kill it. So I'm going to double into my Rotom, predicting the Slowbro, which is exactly what happens. Here I'm just going to go for the Defog this time, thinking he might predict me to Volt Switch again on the Roserade, since that was the last play I made. Yeah, I really need to get rid of these rocks, because my team can't afford to be taking all this chip damage. He does make the Roserade play, which is unfortunate, but we do get rid of the rocks. We make the Landorus T play, which is like my sort of safest switch into this. Yeah, I don't really have safe switches into this, but this thing can take a hit. I doubt he's HP Ice, since he kind of needs HP Fire for Scavalier. So I should be able to live most any hit. So he does go for the spikes, which is unfortunate that he gets up a spike, but spikes are a lot less of a problem than rocks, because yes, it does more damage to Palisand and Mega Glade, but it doesn't do any damage to Rotom-Mow and Landorus T, which are mons that I should be bringing in and out a lot in this matchup, since they are my momentum mons. They're my Volturn core. So here I am going to, I believe, predict him to switch and go for a U-turn, as he does make the Slowbro play, and this reveals that he is max physically defensive. I'm able to go right back in my Rotom-Mow, get a little bit of leftovers, and Volt again as I force out the Slowbro. And this is going really well for me. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of information on his team. I'm slowly whittling down this Roserade, and eventually it will be in range of my Landorus T's U-turn, at which point U-turn will be a very, very safe play on the Roserade. So right now I am risking, like, if I go Lando and I U-turn, he predicts me to U-turn, and he goes for Sludge Bomb or something, it could be horrendous. Or like Leaf Storm as well. I don't have something safe to bring in on this, so I need to be continuously forcing it out. Sure, I do make the Greninja play here, as that it is now should be potentially in range of Specs Dark Pulse. So I'm thinking, like, I'll try to catch the Mandibuzz here, but also I'm thinking, if he brings out the Metagross, because it's relatively expendable, if I go for Ice Beam, maybe I'll freeze him back. He does do just that. Since you know, Dark Pulse is a sort of roll to be able to kill the Roserade, so Ice Beam was just sort of the safer play there. And yeah, Metagross is relatively expendable here. We do 20%, which is good damage, but we don't get the freeze. Palisand's a pretty safe switch in here. The Yachi Berry would have been pretty nice here, since we would have been able to take that a lot more comfortably and just gotten up our rocks here. But we still avoid the 2-hit KO. Oh yeah, that's a max roll as well. Yeah, 36 is a more normal roll. So I go for the shore up here, so we're able to comfortably take that. And here, I kind of regret this play. I'm going to go for another shore up, just trying to get a little bit healthier, to be able to, check this Metagross throughout the match. But probably the better play is actually to get up Stealth Rock, because that gives me some more offensive pressure, and it could be very nice to bring down the Coco, the Roserade, which I need a little bit of chip on this Roserade for my Landorus T to be able to put it in range of U-turn. Also be very nice for the Mandibuzz, of course, as well. So you probably should have clicked rocks here, but I'm gonna click shore up. So he goes into Roserade. I thought, oh, this is fine. I have the Rindo berry, so I'm like, I can go for my rocks here. He might overpredict, so maybe go for another spike here or something. You know, maybe try to predict and go for like a sludge bomb, and maybe even like a rando HP ice for Lander's T. But he's actually going to go for the Z move here, and he's going for a Bloom Doom, which is going to kill my Palisand through the Rindo berry. It's unfortunate. So I bring out the Landers here. Because, yeah, it's one of my mons that forces this out, and it's unlike Greninja, it doesn't take any damage from the spike, so it's a little safer for me to be bringing out the Lander's T as a means of forcing out the Roserade. These guys really like to hype up people who are given really strong advantages. Like, that was a no drawback play. You guys are bots. Anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Stone Edge here, trying to catch the Mandibuzz. I've been going for U-turn a lot. And I could potentially go for Earthquake on that turn, trying to like catch him staying with this Roserade. And Stone Edge covered staying in with Roserade as well. It does kill from that range. Yeah, he goes into the expendable Metagross. U-turn was probably a better play here, but still not bad. Here I'm going to predict him to go for Ice Punch and actually go into my Greninja, and that's exactly what happens. That's a nice, pretty nice play on my part. I mean, it's kind of obvious play for him to click Ice Punch there, but like this was my only play to stay in the game. Here, I believe I go for Hydro Pump, since it covers the potential Mandibuzz as well as him stacking the Metagross. So here he's going to bring in the Coco. I'm going to go into my dedicated switch in the Rotom Mow. So he goes for U-turn. It's unfortunate since that's going to do way more damage to Rotom than any other move the Coco could go for. Besides, like, Guardian of Lola. But yeah, he's already shown his Z move on Roserade. And it's unfortunately going to invite in the Roserade as well. So I'm going to make the Landers T play since, as I mentioned, it's going to live anything. So he goes for Technician HP Fire, which does a decent amount of damage, but it's not a 2-hit KO, thankfully. Here I'm going to predict him to stay in, I believe, and actually go for the Earthquake. No, I go for U-turn this time, as he goes into Mandibuzz. And this is a really good turn for me, catching the Mandibuzz with the U-turn this time, as it's taking damage, which is wonderful for my Greninja. And yeah, which is really good for my Gren, as well as this thing just getting weakened. Like, if this thing goes, then Earthquake becomes relatively free, as it hits everything, at least neutrally then. Though he does, of course, have the physically defensive Slowbro to be able to tank those. And here my only real play is to go into my Mega Gallade. So the electric terrain is up, which is wonderful, since it means that my Thunder Punches are boosted, which means I will be able to like 2-hit KO Slowbro if he were to come in on a Thunder Punch, and also means I'm going to be able to do a ton to this Mandibuzz. He only has one play here. Bringing Mega Gallade out forces him to click Foul Play, because if I click SD as he switches, it is an absolute nightmare for him. So yeah, I'm going to not go for the Sword Stance, because if I boost my attack stat, even if I stay in regular form, I will die to Foul Play if I'm at +2. So I'm just going to Mega Evolve and click the Thunder Punch, which are able to do a ton. We actually paralyze the Mandibuzz. If we get the full paralysis here, then we'll be able to kill this thing and still have our Mega Gallade very, very healthy, which would be excellent as a means of potentially breaking the Slowbro if he sets the terrain back up. Be something that could get some good damage on Gallade, force out Roserade, all that good stuff. But he doesn't get fully parried. He foul plays, we live. Just go for another Thunder Punch, knock this thing out. He moves out Coco, which is actually a pretty good scenario for me. I don't know why he didn't bring out the Slowbro, given that the terrain had just gone away. No. and my Mega Gallade is in range of spikes. I guess he didn't want me going into Rotom-Mow and defogging away the spike, which would give my Mega Gallade another lease on life. Going Coco here forces a kill for him. I guess, yeah, that's definitely what he went for. But I am actually patching the Shadow Sneak, so I'll be able to get some nice chip on this Coco. With the Mandibuzz gone, Greninja has become a much stronger wind condition and a really good breaker since he's lost his best Dark Resist. So if like I can potentially get a little more damage on Roserade and like get rid of Slowbro, then Greninja can definitely win. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Shadow Sneak, which does a clean 21. So he goes for his U-turn and brings out Roserade. My Greninja is a little low here at 42%, which means it doesn't have a lot of switch ins to the spike. But the spike is actually helping me a little bit here because it means that the next time I might bring my Greninja in, I will actually be in Torrent range, which will be excellent for boosting power of not only my Hydro Pump, but my Water Shuriken as well. So yeah, here I'm going to make the Earthquake play in case you wanted to stay in. And we do a clean 39 to Slowbro, which forces him to slack off. So I'm able to get my my Rotom-Mow in for free. And he can't risk this Slowbro. He seems to be playing this match on the relatively safe side because he's been ahead since the turn 1 freeze. So and even if he like he could stay in and like attack, but Volt Switch just would be doing a lot to his Slowbro, and he can't really afford for that to be weakened. So he's going to make the Roserade play on the Volt Switch, and this is excellent, because it should be in range of U-turn now, potentially. But it's also potentially not. Like, I'm not quite sure on like if he has a little bit of bulk or not. And still, like if he's no bulk, it's like a roll. So I just make the safe Earthquake play. So he brings out Mega Gallade. He is clicking Ice Punch here and forcing a kill. I considered going Rotom here, but if I go Rotom and sack that to the Mega Gallade, I then bring out Greninja. I click Dark Pulse, but Mega Gallade lives, and it can't be flinched because it has Inner Focus. So then he kills me with Close Combat, and then Slowbro wins. Yeah, basically. So I need to put some damage on this to put it in range of my Greninja. Like, I have no other play other than to just stay in an Earthquake. And if I crit, then I actually win the game. But I don't. But I still do a nice 80%. So here I'm going to bring out my Greninja, and Dark Pulse should force a kill. I mean, he could, I guess, go Coco. I don't know. I don't know how much specs Dark Pulse does. I mean, I could also potentially go for like a Hydro Pump predicting the Coco. So he's like preserving that as a win condition, because now he knows my Scarfer's dead, and he doesn't know that I have Water Shuriken. So it makes sense to keep Coco alive for sure. Like if I Hydro here as he brings out Coco, he just loses the game, like on the spot. Like that could be a potential choke. So I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse here. So he brings out his Culver Berry Slowbro, which still takes 51, and I just Dark Pulse again, knock this thing out. So he brings in the Coco. I'm choice locked into Dark Pulse right now, so I have to switch out. He goes for the freest U-turn of his life. He crits me, which doesn't matter. It's actually good if he's Drain Punched Mega Gallade, now that I have less health. But turns out he is Close Combat. So he does that. Bring out the Greninja. Even if he has Shadow Sneak, we do outspeed this. So my Water Shuriken would go before him, since it's also a priority move. I go for that, and I knock this thing out. He brings out Tapu Koko. If I get 4 hits with the Water Shuriken, then I actually win the game. Somehow. Or if I get 3 hits and one of them is a crit, then I also win the game. I know the odds of getting 4 or 5 hits is like 25%, and like with the potential of crits on like the 3 potential scenarios, you have 3 different hits. That's probably increases my odds to like somewhere around 30%. I haven't calculated that. Yeah, it's just gonna come down to Shuriken rolls in the end. So you get 1, 2, And that's it. Oh yeah. We'll talk about absolute clowns in the chat. Yeah, after I killed the Slowbro Block Coco, this juiced guy, King Sky, who like got 6-0'd or something by SD Skarmory, like that's the only game I've seen from him. Like, yeah, GG is over, but it wasn't anywhere close to over, because if I got more shuriken hits, I won. So yeah, I don't know. Some of these DPL guys are kind of juiced. GG's to metalfrider, even though it's kind of whack. I honestly feel like I played this game really well. I mean, I should not have been this close. I started the game 5v6 with him having rocks up already. And it came down to water shuriken hits in the end. You know, I lost, but, you know, 4-leaf clover. And I could have easily won. So yeah, it goes down as an L, but I think I've showed I'm not a bad player. Yeah, I could have won this game, which would have been nice to have the big upset this week. I think Dark had the biggest upset last week, with him being the biggest underdog against Jolt. Yeah, shout out to Dark, another one of my teammates. Yeah, unfortunate, I got nothing in my favor this game. Like if I got any sorts of crits anywhere, or if I got more shuriken hits, if I paralyzed the Mana Buzz, anything, but no. I just get Ice Punch Froze turn 1, and I never thaw. So that's going to be all. Thanks for watching.